What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? My name is Joe, just your average Joe, hanging out in the garage, raw and unedited. It's how we do around here. Hopefully you enjoy this one. Don't have a whole lot to go over today. I got a few sales between yesterday and today. We got several comments to touch on and discuss, so we'll get on those as well. But hopefully you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. And again, my name is Joe. Been reselling full time for 8-ish years, but I've been buying and selling on eBay since 2000. So quite a long time on eBay. So hopefully I can share some things that'll help you along your journey. If you're new to reselling, if you've been around a while reselling, or if you just enjoy watching reselling videos, hopefully you enjoy my content. But let's go ahead and dive in for the day. We've got several comments to touch on, and then, like I said, we'll jump into sales. Let's go ahead and get going. First one up, Mr. Kurt. Kurt says, "Yo, average Joe, you should try to just show some of your pickups from Saturday. Give the new computer a try. I think a lot of people would enjoy that kind of content too. It would be just one video a week that you would have to edit, but I understand you're busy. That's you're not wrong. If I, in my mind, I'm like, I would have to post every day, I guess. So you're not wrong. I guess if I just did one a week, I could probably do that and squeeze that in and make that happen. So I'll noted, since a couple of you guys have kind of now mentioned, let's see what you're doing while you're out and about again. I do have a computer now that can handle the editing, so I will try to make an effort to do that in the upcoming weeks. To get in fact, I think I've got a SD card that's full right now of stuff from past pickups. So I could probably chop that up. So it would be older stuff, and then I can start with the newer stuff when I go outsourcing again. I'm probably not going to source this Saturday again because my hamstring is still in not the best of shape, but it is getting slightly better, but still not in the best of shape. Still purple from basically my butt cheek all the way down to the back of my leg. It's pretty bad still. But anyway, but I do have a bunch of content that I just never cropped, edited, that I took with my GoPro. I think I have stuff even from when I was at Myrtle Beach a while back, early in like April, I want to say, when I took my GoPro. So anyway, I can kind of go through that footage and try to crop and chop some of it up, and do a basic edit on it. I may not jazz it up and put like words and stuff in it because I didn't even do a very good job before when I was editing and put the words up, because I was using like PowerPoint and typing stuff up and then taking a snippet of whatever words sentence or whatever I typed up, and then I would save that snippet and then I would put that into the video, which is probably not the best way to do it, but that was my old school way of, like, where my mind was going. Like, that's how you do it. The software I'm using didn't have a way to incorporate regular text in the video, so that's anyway. So it's pretty bad. Like I said, my editing skills were not very good, but that was just me thinking outside the box on how I can get some verbiage in on the screen, as the video's going, to kind of highlight certain things. Anyway, but yes, to your point, I will try to make an effort to do that, because I could do one a week. I could probably swing that and do one video a week, edit for like 2 hours at some point later at night or whatever, and just hammer it out and get it done, and then post it, and do like one a week. I could probably do that, especially, um, like I said, I think now with my new computer, it should have no problem cropping and editing and putting together the video. I mean, this one was just no good. So, but yes, Kurt Bay, I will certainly make an effort to do that. Since now a few of you guys have ragged on me to do it, I will do that. And you're not wrong. I'm sure there's other people that would enjoy that content versus this platform and the way I do stuff here. Some people are probably like, it's just some dude in his garage talking. Who cares? Don't want to watch that. And so, but they may watch the out and about stuff and doing deals and seeing the stuff that you pick up. So I can relate. I can totally understand where that could also get more subscribers and more people that would enjoy hanging out and watching the stuff. So, um, help the wheel turn, kind of thing. Fuck yeah, Lions won. He says, never a doubt. My Lions are looking good, man. Lions are looking good. My sales have been getting better. Did 1,800 last week. Wow, big week for you, man. Dang, I want to be like you when I grow up. And started out this week with $800 Monday. Wow, dang, man, that's pretty good. Killing it, Kurt. Those are sounding like my old numbers, man. Like, sheesh. Let's see, Stephen Harris. Stephen Harris, welcome back, Stephen. Appreciate you replying to my video and my rant on me getting a real job. Anyway, let's go, Average Joe. I love how fired up you got about my comment. No, seriously though, I'm a part-time reseller myself, and I agree with everything you said. I love doing it, and I don't have a traditional 9 to 5 myself. I love the passion displayed here in the video. Stay fired up and kill it in the fourth quarter, brother. Hey, well, I appreciate you. Thank you for thank you for your um thank you for your reply and being cool. I appreciate it, because I know I was a little fired up, and I probably yeah. Anyway, but I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you watching. You know, maybe you'll hang around for a while, and you know, and hopefully maybe I can learn from you. You can learn from me, kind of thing. So that's what this is all about. Winston Wolf says, Joe, you're the best, man. I have utmost respect for your hustle and what you're doing for your family, man. And do what you hustle and what a doing family man you are. Do you ever consider reselling? Do you ever consider reselling might not be sustainable anymore due to worse and worse margins? No, I don't foresee it being a problem. I mean, I've been my father-in-law, ex-father-in-law, has been reselling. He's actually the one that introduced me to eBay back in 2000. He's been reselling since probably like 90, 98 um, um, on eBay. And so he kind of turned me onto it way back then. And it's certainly gotten harder. I will say that. But it was also harder back then without technology, because you weren't able to look things up so easily. So you had to know your stuff. So not only has it gotten harder, over the years for resellers, it's gotten harder. It's gotten easier too. So it's gotten harder, gotten easier. What do I mean by that? Well, technology. So people that are selling stuff are more educated in what their stuff is worth. So because they have a way to look the stuff up now, and then resellers also have that same thing now. But before, you had the technology to just look stuff up, you had to know your stuff. Well, now you can just look stuff up and see. So you can. It's so. I would say, again, I've been doing this a long time. Even though I wasn't full time doing it, I've been doing it a long time. I don't think it's gotten just in the. No, I don't. I don't think it's anything about the I mean, people are more educated on their stuff, but you have lots of people that are just trying to move stuff. So the only thing I foresee getting a little harder is there's more people in the game, which means there's more competition. But there's also people leaving the game because they don't like it, because they're not very good at it. And so it's it's a ebb and flow, man. It's an up and down all the time. I would say, you know, if anything, it would just get a little bit harder to source stuff. Not so much, and maybe margins may get a little smaller, but for every time margins get smaller, you're going to find, there's always people that are just looking to get rid of stuff. I had a girl that I bought something from, and she was just trying to pay her rent for it, so she put a Switch up for a bunch of games for a really good price. I was the first one to message her, didn't negotiate, it was just, hey, I'll buy it, done. I go to pick it up. She's like, man, thank you so much. I needed the money so I can pay my rent. People are going to be in that's just an example. People move all the time and just dump their stuff. There's a lot of people that it's not hard getting stuff. There's a lot of people that get stuff through storage units, through house cleanouts, through all that kind of stuff, and they just need to move it. There's a guy that I go to his yard sale. That's all he does is house cleanouts. And so every once a month he'll do a yard sale, and he's just dumping stuff because he's just trying to move it, because he's just going to get a ton more stuff doing his house clean out. So he doesn't have time to sit around. Now he may a gem here and there get premium for and sell it online. But for the most part, 90% of his stuff, he's just dumping. He's just trying to get rid of it. And so he's passing that savings or passing those margins to to guys like me that are resellers. So there's so many people doing that. And then there's, I'm in a country-ish town in the country, out kind of in the country. You know, Fayetteville area is not like a huge city. There's a lot of little small towns that folks are still very country. I'm not trying to knock anybody, but country folks a lot of times don't look their stuff up, and they just throw their stuff out there for dirt cheap because they don't know any better. And so you're still going to have those people that just don't look their stuff up, don't care. Again, it goes back to they're just trying to move it. They don't care what it's worth. And I've done the same thing. You know, when I used to have yard sales and stuff, you know, I would I just need to move it. I just need to move it. I don't care if this thing was worth $50 and I got $5 on it. I just need to move it. You know what I mean? So I would say that competition make it stiffer, which means you got to get up earlier and you got to hustle harder. I don't think margins is a much of an issue, because you're always going to find those folks that do those things. And on the flip side of that coin, you're going to find folks that want eBay prices at yard sales or at some of these, you know, flea markets and stuff. And if you want eBay prices, you need to put your stuff on eBay. And that's the reason why your stuff just sits forever, is because I got one guy that does storage unit cleanouts, and he does a really good job, but the stuff that he sells in his location is all damn near retail cost, or damn near, you know, what eBay is. And he still sells stuff, but he sells stuff his sell through is very slow. He doesn't mess with eBay. He's been burned too many times on eBay, so he doesn't like messing with eBay at all. So, you know, I don't quite understand. He's a volume play though. He gets so much stuff, it's ridiculous. He's got on his property, he has his own store set up, and the way he gets around taxes and stuff is he has no actual floor. It's all just buildings with no floor, so it's dirt. So apparently the code for the county is if you don't have an actual floor, you don't have to pay the taxes on all the space. So that's kind of one way he gets around it. At least that's what he told me. And then he's got, like, no lie, the man's got probably 13 trailers, big trailers, like the what is it, the four was it four axle, anyway, the large, like, 20 footers, like, actually they're probably bigger than that, 24, 26 footers. They're the big ass trailers that you got to pull with a dually. He's got 13 of those things plumb full of just, he don't even know what's in it, because he does so many storage unit cleanouts all the damn time that he don't even know what he has. So that man is just on a volume play. So, but he doesn't, I know that if I go there, it's going to be slim picking, because he's going to want damn near eBay on all his stuff. So that's not, even though I know I can go there and maybe get some things from time to time, that's not one of my honey holes, because but then I've got another guy, like I said, that storage unit clear out dude. He just dumps his stuff because he doesn't care. He's not pricing his stuff high because he doesn't have all the place to store it. He doesn't have 13 trailers to store all his stuff in and a bunch of buildings to put all his stuff in. So he just has his garage in his house, and he's got one huge trailer. And so he's got to move it. So you got to find those kind of guys and use those guys as your honey holes. Those are going to always be better margins. Not to say I can't make money off the one dude that's got 13 trailer full of stuff, because I can still make a few bucks there, but I'd much rather go to the guy that's got the one trailer that does storage or does house cleanouts and storage. He doesn't do storage. He does house cleanouts. So like when houses are repossessed and things like that. Or people move out and they just leave all the crap in their house. That's what he does, is clear houses out. So, you know, he's just looking to move it, dollar. Doesn't matter if it's $50, $30, 25, 100, you know, $100, he might charge $10 for something, you know what I mean? So that's a place, honey hole, where you're going to be able to make good margins. So you got to find those places, you know, yard sailing. You know, some people at yard sales do good and have good prices. Other people at yard sales want darn near, you know, retail, kind of like the two guys I'm talking about. So it's just a matter of hustling more, getting up earlier, going out more, being out there more, being more active. And, you know, so that's, anyway, I'm rambling at this point, but I think you kind of get the idea of where I'm coming from. I don't think it's going to die off. I don't think there's ever going to be a problem. People are always going to get rid of stuff forever. That's how it's going to be. And people are always going to get into a pinch, whether they can't pay their bills, whether they're moving, whether they're military and they just need to dump all their stuff and dump a washer and dryer for $100 a piece that are $1,000 washer and dryer, because they're leaving in 2 weeks and they've yet to sell it. So they're just flash sale, getting rid of it kind of thing. You know, that those things happen, especially in the military town, all the time. You know, that's how I got my jet ski. I got my jet ski dirt cheap from somebody because they had it up on the market at a high price and they knew they were leaving, but they they kept it at a high price for quite a while. One of my buddies that was friends with them was like, hey, he's leaving in like 2 weeks. He'll probably give you a really good deal because he hasn't sold it yet. Me and the guy connected up, and I ended up getting a $15,000, well, probably about a $12,000 jet ski for like $3,000. I mean, it was crazy. And so, because he had to roll, and he didn't have time to just keep sitting on it, and he didn't want to deal with, I came along first kind of thing, and we ended up working out a deal. So all I'm saying is, people, that's always going to happen. People, especially in the military town, for sure, but even in the non-military town, those things happen regularly, where people just, I got a new promotion and I'm moving to Las Vegas and they need me there in 2 weeks, and that I gotta pack up and I gotta get rid of as much stuff as I can in the next 2 weeks. So what you do, you start flash sailing stuff and just getting rid of stuff. Happens all the time. So again, it just goes back to, are you the one that found the sale? Did you find that guy, that person, that situation? Are you out there hustling enough to do that so you can have those good margins, and find those good deals? So yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be an issue there. And as long as I've been doing this, I haven't seen a decline outside of just more competition. More people doing it means when you show up at a yard sale early, there's more people. There's a lot of people at the yard sale there early too. When I did storage units, when I first started, there wasn't a lot of people. You go to storage units now, there's a lot of people. It means more competition. Now, in that case, that might mean smaller margins because there's only so many units to go around, and there's a lot more people now. But that's probably a bad example. But there's so many yard sales out there. Everybody can't be at all of them. You know what I mean? So, and the first thing in the morning, sometimes I get to them super early and there's one or two people. Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes there's 15 people sitting and waiting to get in. And so you got to hustle. It's all about the hustle and grind, getting places early, scouring the internet, finding those things so you can be at them. Those 100-mile yard sales, get there early. Beat early bird gets the worm. I mean, that's in fact, somebody said that on one of my other videos about having to get to places early. So again, that's all I got to say about that. I rambled probably for, I don't know, 7-8 minutes on that one, but we'll keep rolling. Phantom, appreciate you hanging out once again. Phantom, nice video, Joe. All markets are slow right now. People waiting for November. Politics. Yep. Have you tried swimming or swimming exercises to help your hamstring? From personal experience, after some asshole hit me with a mail carrier. Oh shit. Swimming helped alleviate the pain away over time. Hot tub. I don't have a hot tub. I don't have a pool access. My parents and my mother-in-law closed their pools down already. I guess I could go to the public pool, but no, I haven't. That might be a way to go, but I got to get this pain to dissipate first. So it's tapering off little by little. Then I'm going to start doing exercises to get some strength back and stretch back, because I can't even bend down before it starts. It's just so tight now. But sports memorabilia question: thoughts on graded merch? Have any? Worth it? What about non-sports like movie, TV, video game, toy products to be graded? Have come across some items that I'm interested in getting graded. First edition NOS, NIB games, toys. Thanks for your knowledge. So I do have, I can speak on personal experience when it comes to grading cards, because I do sports cards myself. I'm a huge sports card collector. Maybe one day I'll show you guys my upstairs and show off some of my stuff. Maybe when I do the electronics video and show you guys how I clean and test electronics, and then I can just kind of show off a few of my items. But I would say, when it comes to sports cards, yes, if it's the right card. You want to look them up. What's the graded version go for versus the raw? At what point does it become more profitable? A 9 or a 10, and then you got to look at yours. Is yours going to be a 9 or a 10? You can look at cards. One thing that people always fail to realize is centering. Like a card can be mint and be sitting in the sleeve for years, since '84 and blah blah blah. Who cares if that thing's off center because it was cut wrong at the factory, which happens? It's super frequent for even new cards to be cut off center. Automatically, you're not going to have a 10. So that's a huge misconception. So there are services you can send in your cards for. There's Facebook groups that you can send in your cards for groups, bulk submissions. And this is, again, talking about cards. So you can do bulk submissions for cards. And during that bulk submission, that group has a specialist that does a raw card review of your cards. Usually it's like $1 a card, and they look at it to see, you know, what they think. Obviously it's what they think it will get based on their experience. So if you sent a card in that you thought's a 10 and they do a raw card review for the $1 and they think it's going to get a 7, then you can choose at that point whether you want to send that card in or not to actually get graded by PSA, Beckett, CGS, whoever it is that you go with. I would say PSA if you're going to resell. Personally, I like Beckett better. I've always liked Beckett better. I like that's a whole nother topic. We can argue about that for folks that are into grading, but PSA sells better. PSA throws out a lot of 10s and they don't have an in between. They don't have a 9.5 where Beckett has 9.5, you know, because not all cards are 10s or 9s. There is a median, and PSA doesn't do that. So it's either a 9 or a 10 with PSA, and everybody wants 10s, and 10s are primo. You get a 10 with Beckett, it's a better card than a 10 from PSA, I can tell you that. And especially if it's a black label 10, it's like, it's the mintest you could ever get. But anyway, those are arguments, conversations that folks that are in the hobby have. We're not gonna get into that here. But if you're gonna resell, PSA is your way to go. And I hate to say it because I hate PSA personally. So yeah, that's kind of what I can say there. When it comes to video games, new in box video games, I forget who does them. I think CGS does it too, and there's other ones that do it. I've never sent in video games, so I can't really speak on that other than things that I've seen on YouTube. I would say if it's the right title, if it's in the right condition, that is probably worth sending in to get graded. But again, it goes back to title and condition. You know, again, I would look those things up first to see what they go for, and then make your decision at that point whether you want to send, you know, this batch of new in box in to see what they get. I would say yes. I've actually thought about doing that myself on some of my new inbox games, so that may be something I do dabble in down the road. Toys, I don't really know much as far as the grading. I got tons of old toys. In fact, if I pulled that bin down right now and showed you guys this bin that's like right here, it's full of old Ninja Turtles and all their accessories and some the skateboards and all that kind of stuff, which is because I have all my childhood toys from the 80s and 90s. So but I don't really know a lot about them. Although even though I have them still from my childhood, I don't resell them. I don't really look them up much. I don't really dabble in that. So that one I'm totally ignorant on when it comes to toy grading and pricing for that matter. So yeah. But hopefully that helps you out a little bit. I would say memorabilia outside of authenticating like a signature, they don't really like encase memorabilia like these helmets and stuff that I have for like my Facebook group. You know, if you sent one of those in, if it didn't have a COA, all mine have COAs. But if it didn't have a COA, let's say you were at the game, you had Joe Burrow sign your helmet, then you know, in order to confirm it's real, you'd have to send it in to like JSA or PSA or somebody to authenticate the autograph, and then they put a sticker on it, give you a letter saying it's authentic. But they don't encase those or grade those. So that's you know, that's not a, when it comes to memorabilia, that's a whole different type of thing. They may encase like old school stuff, like Babe Ruth stuff, maybe like old, but even then I don't think they encase those things. They just authenticate the autographs or authenticate if it was game worn or, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, hope that helps a little bit, Phantom. Let's keep going. Let's see. S Jeffrey says, talk about what is selling. Don't need to hear about your aches and pains. We have our own. Fair. But you know, that's what we do around here. I tore my hamstring. We talk about it. Folks have given me well wishes. We're going to touch on it. S Jeffrey, if you don't like it, keep it moving. Keep it stepping. Scroll on to the next video, boss. I don't care. But if you would like to hang out with us, you're going to hear some life stuff from time to time. It happens. I'm just your average dude, and whatever the fuck comes off the top of my head about whatever people are talking about or whatever happening in my life, those things are going to come up from time to time. It is what it is. If you don't like it, again, keep scrolling. I don't care. But anyway, appreciate you commenting and kind of trolling. Also, if you ain't got, did your mom not raise you right? Obviously, your mom didn't raise you right. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. More people like, why is that not a thing anymore? Also, I'd like to say, since we're touching on that, Me and my wife were talking this morning about this whole debate from last night, and my thing is man, there's so many people on social media just going ham on each other and like defriending and blocking and talking so much trash on each other. It's like, did y'all's moms not raise you right? You don't talk about politics in public. You don't talk about religion in public. You don't talk about money in public. Okay? Those are just some things, the bare basics. Growing up, I learned it growing up. That's how I was raised. You don't talk about and now if you're in a group setting amongst close friends and you want to talk about politics and that kind of stuff, that's one thing. But in public, you don't talk about money, politics, and religion. All it does is fire people up and get people pissed off. That's all it leads to. And just negativity and nastiness. And it brings out the worst in people. Don't talk about it. And if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Those are like the most basic things that people should be taught when they're growing up by their parents. Like, just like the world would be such a better place if those things were, abided by, or more. I'm not gonna say, obviously everybody's grown up and raised different, but if more people, had that mindset of, I'm gonna keep that stuff to myself because all it's gonna do is piss people the fuck off. You know what I mean? Now, again, if you're in a non-public setting and you're with your friends and you want to talk politics and get into heated arguments and debates about it, that's no problem. You do you. Talk about religion and money and blah, blah, blah. But there's just some things you don't talk about in public because I don't know you, you don't know me, and I'm not going to push my thoughts and ideas on you and change your mind, and you're not going to push your thoughts and ideas on me and change my mind. Now, if we want to sit and debate amongst friends, maybe I'll be enlightened, maybe I'll change my mind, maybe I'll have a better understanding, but I don't know, man. Like, if we ain't politicians, then just keep your mouth shut and keep it moving. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old school too. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyway, we'll keep it moving. And Winston Wolf gives him a little yeah. Thank you, Winston. Man, these trolls, man. Justin Little says, thanks for sharing. Joe, do you still get picking thrill when you find something awesome? I feel this is the best part of reselling. Absolutely, man. The last thing I picked up that gave me a tickle was when I had that Pokemon Crystal a couple months back. Yeah, probably, yeah, because it's been about a month since I've picked anything. So maybe about a month and a half to 2 months ago, when I was at a yard sale, a guy brought out an SP with a bunch of games, and one of the games was Pokemon Crystal, and if I remember correctly, Pokemon Red. And they wanted like $40 for the whole shebang. I was like, sold all day. Yes. so yeah, absolutely. That does excite me. I get that still. That's what makes it fun and exciting and awesome. When you find those things that are pretty good or just rare or are high dollar or whatever the case is. Nice job dealing with the heckler and good banter, Joe. Thank you, Winston. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I'm going to just thumb up and heart you. I'm not going to reply again. I appreciate you, your hard work, Joe. Winston Wolf, you're the man. I thank you for commenting and watching and supporting, man. Really do. Big Bo from B-Town. Thanks, Joe. How much do you think a red Nintendo Game Boy SP is worth with the charger? I picked up 2 for 120, wondering if I can flip them for a profit online or if I'm just going to break even. Big Bo from B-Town. Funny you said that. I've just sold my SPs recently. Red ones. They typically, for me, they sell between 100 and 120. But I do lock them with like 4 or 5 games, like filler games, nothing crazy, but like the cheap, like $5, $6, $5, $4, $3 games, is what I bundle them with. And I usually get about 90. The last one sold for 95. The one before that sold for 120. I just put a blue one up with 5 games charger. It did have a case too. Put that one up for 120 as well. It's already got a watcher on it. And I just put that up last night, actually, or yesterday. So I would say if they're in good condition, I've got 3 sitting upstairs that I got to reshell because their shells are just trash. So I did buy shells to reshell those. So I'm planning to get like 150 for those after I reshell them because they're like the Zelda shell and the Pokemon Pikachu shell. So I'm going to reshell those and I'm going to try to get a little bit more out of those. But you did good. 120, I mean, it's a little high. I would expect to do about 200 for the pair, especially if you don't have any games with them. If they're in good condition and not totally scratched up and all that on the outside, typically the outside cases or the outside of the cases are usually really bad. The insides are usually pretty good because they flip down, so the screens and the insides are usually in pretty good shape. If they're not, I would consider reshelling them because you can get shells for like 15 bucks. And then you might be able to squeeze $1.30 to $1.50 out of each of them, possibly. But if as is, I would say, and if you don't have games, if it's just the SP and the charger, 80 to 100. So you're going to make a few bucks, but it probably wasn't the best pickup. Not huge margins there. So anyway, hope that helps. All right, that's all we got for comments. Appreciate y'all once again commenting and asking questions. I appreciate the comments and the questions. We don't have a lot of sales to go over, so we're pretty much almost done for the day. We have 4 things that sold for a total of $160.89. So didn't quite hit goal. Now I will say I had somebody purchase something. Well, I'll say 2 things because that kind of burned me up a little bit. First thing is I had somebody purchase a PS4 this morning for $130. So technically I'd be at $290. However, they said, "Oh, I can't pay till Friday." I'm like, "MFer, are you serious? Like, why don't you offer on Friday then? Come on, man." Anyway, so that burned me up a bit. And every time that happens, I'd say 90% of the time, 90% of the time that happens when somebody buys something but doesn't complete checkout, they don't actually pay for it. And he's only got like 40 feedback. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Maybe he's the 10% outside the norm, and maybe he will pay on Friday like he says. But my experience, they normally end up not checking out and paying like they say they're going to. So we'll see how that goes. Technically, I should be at $290. But anyway, we'll find that out on Friday. But right now, we're at $160.89. And let me go start pulling these orders. The one thing that kind of burned me up is I sold if you all remember, I had that Mickey Mouse plush. I sold for $17 free shipping. It went all the way to California. It cost, I don't know, I think damn near, I only profited $7. So it cost probably about $9 minus fees, or $8 minus fees, whatever it was. It was super light. So maybe like $8, $9 for shipping minus fees. I sold it for 17, maybe it was $17.99, $18. Either way, I cleared like $7 on it. Whoopee! I picked it up for $1. It wasn't worth it. But they messaged me yesterday. They already left positive feedback. They've had the item now for about, I don't know, 5 days. They messaged me yesterday, or opened a case yesterday saying they want to return it because they found the same item cheaper. Man, I was so pissed. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "You paid $18 free shipping for this thing, or $17, $18, $19 with taxes or whatever, maybe $20 with taxes. And you're going to do a return now." And obviously I do free returns. So these are the rare occasions where it's like, I wish I wouldn't have free returns on, but I do have free returns on. And this is the rare occasion where it bites me in the ass. I told the guy, I was like, "You know what? Just keep it." I just refunded his money, closed the case, said keep the item, sent him a message, said keep the item. I wasn't mean or nasty, although I really wanted to be. But I'm like, man, I cleared $7 on this thing, and you're gonna fucking do a return on it? Are you kidding me? And then I gotta eat the return because you found it cheaper a week later, 2 weeks later almost, because it takes damn near 5 days to get to California from North Carolina anyway. So, and then you've had it for 5 days. So it's been about 10 days since so you're still looking for this damn item because you want to find it cheap. I think their feedback was low. I think they just did that hoping that I would just refund them. I could be wrong, but I just refunded them. I ended up at $10. I'm eating $10, $11. It is what it is. It's better. It would cost me almost that much to do a label to come back to me and then have to sit on it again and resell it. And then it just ain't worth my time. I just refunded it. So there's that. So that kind of burned me up a little bit, but that's eBay. It happens like that sometimes. I know some of y'all will say, "Well, that's why I don't do free returns." Fair, but it's super rare for it to happen. And free shipping. It was free returns and free shipping on that one. I don't do a ton of free shipping on bigger items, and I do have free returns on everything. But again, normally it doesn't bite me in the butt. It is rare. That's why I leave it at that, because I do feel like you do get more sales by having those things active. So anyway, first thing that sold was Microsoft Office 2003. Sold for $21 plus shipping on that one. I think I picked that up for $1. My last My last headphone, Apple headphone, the last one here, sold for another $764. I have none left now, so sold through all those. I think after it's all said and done, I probably made about 30-ish bucks off of these, maybe 25, 30 bucks. And they didn't sit too long. What's going on here? They didn't sit too long, so okay. All right. So anyway, wired headphones. Picked them up for $1. Had 4 of them. That's the only reason I picked them up was because there was a lot of 4. If there was only one, I wouldn't have picked it up. But there was 4 of them, so I figured that was worth it. Next thing that sold was a Game Boy Atomic Purple. Let's see, Game Boy Atomic Purple should be in here. Or no, actually, I think it's in the other one. All right, and then the other thing that sold was there it is. NCAA. This game has come down so much. NCAA 2014 on PS3. Game only, sold for cartridge only, sold for cartridge only, game only, disc only, sold for $40 plus shipping on that one. And then the Atomic Purple Game Boy. Actually, right there. All right, it's my last one too. Atomic Purple Game Boy. So sold for $68 plus shipping, 68 bucks plus shipping on that one. So there's that. A whopping 4 sales, 160. 89, not including shipping. Probably going to cost me about 15 bucks to get all this stuff shipped out. Actually, not even. Well, maybe 15, 12 to 15 bucks. So that's all I got for you guys. That's the episode for today. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. Didn't have a whole lot. I don't think that we covered a lot, and not a ton of nuggets that I don't think I didn't really throw a lot of nuggets out there. But hopefully you enjoy this one. We'll be back tomorrow, assuming we have sales. I'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday, and we'll keep hammering through this. And hopefully we can hit at least 200 bucks. That's the goal per day. It'd be nice to hit 250 to offset today a bit. That'd be nice. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully your sales are going well. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them. I'd love to address those. And that's all I got for y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. See y'all later.